Irashaimase! Hello and welcome to Fataris' Kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Fataris. It's time once again for Shoot 'em Up Saturday, and on the menu this week we have Star Hunter DX, an awesome retro 80s styled shmup. What kind of taste will it have? Let's get cooking and find out. From 1cc Games and Chorus Worldwide, Star Hunter DX released in early August of 2021 for the PC and the Nintendo Switch, which is the version we're looking at today. It has a planned release for the Xbox and PlayStation platforms in late August. So the easiest way I can describe this title to you is it's a horizontal scrolling bullet hell with some cave shooter vibes and an awesome 80s synth inspired soundtrack. If that sounds like your thing, this is definitely one that I can recommend to you. So far, I've had a lot of fun and been quite impressed with this title, so it's a solid recommend from the chef. So here we find ourselves at the main menu. There is a nice little how to play, basically a manual that does a good job of describing the game's systems. The start game, of course. Then there's a practice mode where you can practice each stage in depth once you've unlocked it, and challenges basically your achievements and leaderboards. No online leaderboards here though, just local. Starting the game, we're taken to this character select. Initially, you have one character available, Luna. Throughout the course of your gameplay, you'll unlock the additional characters, Cat 99 and Edgar. So you can kind of see here one of the big differences between the three different characters is their rapid shot and their laser. You've got different power levels, different speeds associated with all that. So to start off, we'll show you the game as Cat 99. Once you select your character, there is your difficulty selection: Space Cadet, Bounty Hunter, and Bullet Hell. So the game itself, right off the bat, you can see has a really awesome, like 80s inspired, well, just like font there, as well as the whole neon look to it. And that's one of the things that I really like about this game. But let's talk about the systems first. So each character has two different shots on their particular fighter. For Cat 99 here, his rapid fire shot is this awesome homing shot. And his laser is this little tri-laser here. And unlike the other two characters, when he's using his laser, he's actually moving faster, and his rapid fire shot is his slower shot. So basically normal speed and your like focused movement. So it is interesting that those two modes are backwards. And as far as that's concerned, that also affects the way you would build Multiplier. So he builds Multiplier significantly faster off of his laser than he does off of his more powerful homing shot. In addition to your two shots, you also have a bomb available to you. And the bomb is an interesting short range, it's almost like a double pulse that's meant to be more defensive than offensive. It is possible to recharge your bombs after using them. So you start with 3 bombs displayed in the top left there, and then there's also that meter above them. That meter will grant you another bomb once you fill it up. How do you fill it up? Grazing bullets. So if you have bullets grazed within that circle that surrounds your fighter, then you'll build up the energy that will restore additional bombs. In addition to that, grazing bullets also helps increase your multiplier. So basically, you've got a shot that will increase your multiplier faster, the ability to graze bullets to both increase your bombs as well as help you build the multiplier. So what does all of this multiplier work? Well, the big thing there is you've got this ability called bullet time. And that bullet time allows you to score massive points by when you defeat enemies. If you're in bullet time, you'll receive gold from, or rather, all the enemy shots that are on the screen will turn into gold, which will give you points both during your gameplay and then bonus points at the end of a stage. So since we only used that mechanic at the end, we didn't get much of a gold bonus. Throughout the course of the first stage, I was also collecting astronauts as well. Astronauts, of course, are worth points, bonus points at the end of the stage, and they also provide you energy. So you might have noticed it's a little bit hard with like the homing shot, but as I destroy the enemies, there's these blue cubes that home in towards me. those are the energy that refills the bullet time effect. So let's go ahead and use some more bullet time here. So as I destroy the enemies, like all their shots turn into gold. And the amount of points, basically the value of that gold is dependent on what your multiplier is when you destroy that enemy. So higher the multiplier, the more gold you get, but also activating the bullet time does reset your multiplier back to 0 when it runs out. Just something to keep in mind. So here you can see here we're getting like some big gold from the enemies that we're destroying. That's kind of the way you want to play this game. It's like build up multiplier, build up your bullet time, then activate bullet time at the right times to score some really big points. So here we've died here. I should start doing microtransactions, like a little bit of a chat with like death. You do have 3 continues, and it's nice that we do start with max power pickup when you do respawn. So the game itself has 5 stages total to play through, and you'll unlock Cat 99 and Edgar after completing the 2nd and 4th stages respectively. So that's basically unlocking the 3rd stage and unlocking the 5th stage in the gameplay. And really that's quite a bit that we've actually talked about. So that is Star Hunter DX served up for your enjoyment. So the game itself also has an awesome soundtrack, and really, especially after some of the cave shoot-em-ups I've spent some time with recently, it definitely has those kind of vibes. So if that's the kind of shoot-em-up that you enjoy, then this is one that I would consider a solid recommend. And if it's one that you're kind of like looking to get into like that bullet hell idea, there's enough style and substance here, as well as tutorials and even kind of beginner modes, that I feel like this would be even a decent place to start for those that aren't quite as experienced with shoot 'em ups. I mean, actually, even like here, one thing that's like nice to note is, although you do have the like boss health bar on the one side of the screen, you also have the health bar on the other side, so you can kind of focus on your dodging and still like know where you're at in the progress for defeating the boss. Useful for knowing when to activate your bullet time, as that is once again going to be the way that you can score big points. So here I'm trying to build up the meter a little bit before we defeat this boss, just so we can get the best point value at the end. That's kind of the way that the game is meant to be played. It's definitely satisfying. So in the end, final thoughts. Minus flavors, the biggest thing I have about it is the game has this awesome scoring system with a lot of depth to it, but it only has an online leaderboard. I really feel it would have benefited from the ability to compete against the world at large and see what other people could, like what heights others could drive you to. So that's really my only disappointment with the game. As far as the plus flavors are concerned, I love the scoring system and just how in-depth it is. The whole risk reward that it has is one of those things I really like, and just the way that it's pulled off is excellent in my mind. And then there's just the awesome presentation of the game, the aesthetics that just scream like an 80s synthwave vibe, as well as the soundtrack. Everything just comes together so well to give off that just atmosphere, vibe, presentation that the developers were looking for, and I think they knocked it out of the park. So there you have it, Star Hunter DX, and highly recommended selection from me. Alright, that'll just about wrap it up for this week's episode of Shoot 'em Up Saturday. As always, I want to thank you so much for joining me this week, and I look forward to seeing you again next week.